Hey, folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer, and right over there is our resident half beard, John, the millennial. How are you doing this evening, John? You're half John?
I'm only half a John.
Half a John. Well, you're only half a
Hmm.
man till that beard comes back in full. What's wrong?
Right. I don't know. I'm trying to tweet out that we're live, and for some reason, Twitter's like, no, you cannot do it.
Really?
So let me keep trying to work on that real
Did you
quick.
get us in trouble on
Yeah.
Twitter, John? Good to see you this evening, folks.
It's very possible.
I see Elephant Man in the house, Saint in the house,
Go ahead.
having a nice, deeply religious conversation. Oh, and then it's DuckDuckGo.
Oh,
1 minute it's Jesus, the next minute it's DuckDuckGo. You can never be sure with these folks what's important in their lives, right?
just changes minute to minute, it seems. There we go.
Folks, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it, which you probably have. But hit that like button. We like the like button. We are, I don't know, John. How's your crazy life going? Are things getting back to normal now that there's some
It's going
beard
pretty
there?
crazy, actually.
Is it? Why is that? What's so crazy, John? What's got you crazy?
Yeah, I'm feeling. Well, see, what happened was when I shaved completely, my dick lost about 4 inches.
So you had no dick?
And then now that it's coming back, I've gained like 2 more. Right. And I actually had negative dick. I had a vagina at that point. That's how that works.
You did, yes.
And then now that it's grown back a little bit, like I've got like 2 inches now. So it's coming back. Like it's gonna get back there. But we're still waiting.
It's
I suppose.
the waiting is the thing. I got rid of mine. I
Yeah.
got rid of that junk on my face.
Now you're back to a vagina again.
I am, but you know what? It's okay because my wife likes to touch my clean-shaven face, and so it's a fair trade-off. I can live with that trade-off.
I mean, whatever. She's. I mean, she's a lesbian. That's her business,
Hey, you know what? As long as she knows where my clitoris is, that's all I care about.
She could stroke her clit. Yeah.
Right? Oh, John, I'm closing
I like
on
how
it.
his Bible talk in the chat, and then we're just talking about,
Right.
and then we're talking about this shit.
Uh, people in their religion. You gotta love it, right? It's one of those things. Um, now, yeah, I try not to. I don't know. I try and avoid it. No offense. It's one of those things. It's organized religion. As I've always said, organized religion soured me to most all of it in the long run. It's just one of those weird things. So John,
Very weird.
updates, man. We've got a contract working on this house. The land should be closed.
Yeah.
It was not going to close until like the somewhere around the 10th of June, but it's actually probably going to close next week because all the ducks have lined up. We should have it all closed up next week, able to get out there and start stomping around on that new land of ours. Then we turn around and all we got to do is get that house, the other house, finished in production and get it out there on the land once the sets are done. It's happening, my brother. It's happening. If everything goes right,
That's fucking awesome, man. You're gonna be living the dream here.
Right, June 15th is the closing on this house, provided everything goes right. We'll close on this June 15th. I'm headed out. We're going to be headed out. Going to be moving out of here. And it'll make things a little sketchy with the show just because we'll be in an interim place. So, you may be having to run it from your internet and get me on there with what I can do at the location we're at. But,
I don't know about my internet being the one hosting. Who knows?
Well, your internet's not so bad
for some
now.
reason, it's been bad tonight for some reason, like really bad.
I haven't noticed a thing.
Yeah, I have. I'm lagging a lot. Like it's not really the lag. It's I guess like
Buffering.
between when I'm speaking and when you're hearing it. Yeah, whenever I'm speaking, then but like you hear it, there's like a latency there. There's a latency issue.
Yeah, see, now you're starting to be a little hiccupy just for a moment there now that you're
That's what I'm
talking about it.
saying.
But up until this point, I haven't had anything like that. Uh, he says, what's the internet situation out there, Robert? More than likely, it's going to be HughesNet. It's going to have to be on satellite. And so that's going to make it a little bit challenging because it's not the same kind of output I have here on a hard line, fiber optic. Because
Yeah.
here I can get, we run at 100 Mbps. Out there, it's usually going to run somewhere between 25 and 35 Mbps. But I'm going to see if I'm going to look for like something a little more robust for the new property. HughesNet,
Yeah.
I think is what the name of the company is. So but they're out in that area with all the growth that is now happening throughout Florida. A lot more of these counties and cities are starting to get on board and dropping fiber optic and trying to get it going into places.
Hmm.
But so hopefully it won't be too big of a deal. For our property, I'll be like, can you put 2 dishes in so I can get double the pull? Whatever the case may be. If nothing else,
Right.
the
Yeah, we need a lot of internet out here, man.
yeah, I'm if nothing else, I'll have them mount the satellite on top of one of the storage containers that we have dropped on the property. Because I don't know if you've seen this, but like out in the country, they're real big on getting the big storage containers, like the back end of a semi truck, right? And doing stuff
Hmm.
with those. So I'm going to have one of those that I'm just going to make into my personal man cave
Yeah, you're
office
supposed to.
studio. Supposed to what?
Yeah, you're supposed to bury those storage. You're supposed to bury the storage containers and then grow weed in them. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, not when you have
That
property
way,
that
they're not detectable from the surface.
yeah. I was actually talking with somebody about that today, and he was like, they were like, you can have a patch of weed, this, that, and the other, and I'm like, no, you don't grow it in patches, right? You strategically locate individual plants throughout your property. You don't put them together because when
Yeah.
you put them together, marijuana actually gives off its own heat signature. So when the flybys happen, they can actually pick up on groups of plants that are to get like that and they'll put off that heat signature.
Hmm.
But if you just got a plant here and a plant over there and this, that, and the other mixed in with a bunch of everything else, then it's not noticeable. It really doesn't attract any attention. So,
Right.
not that I would do that kind of thing.
Not that you.
Heard it from a
Right.
friend.
Not that you would ever do that. Yeah.
So
Who heard it from a friend who
heard it
heard
from
it
a
from a
friend.
friend you've been messing around?
Right. I
Yeah.
see Ron Helton has shown up, and I also see Jay Egger in the house. Good to see you tonight, guys. Please make sure and hit that like button if you don't mind, please. Saint, I understand they may suck, but the only problem with that is there isn't an option to not waste my money on it until Elon's network is up and running. You know, but
Oh,
that's
hang on. You missed you missed Ron Helton's making a very good point about your property.
what mosquitoes.
Mosquito, 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 mosquito,
Oh,
mosquito.
oh, Ron,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Have you not been in Florida? There's really nowhere in Florida that's safe from mosquitoes. I mean,
That's true.
right now,
Dude, they're the size of fucking baseballs too.
and
They're huge.
they're all over right now
They're not
because
really that big, but they're pretty damn big.
we're starting
Yeah.
to get into our rainy season. So yeah, and this is prime time for mosquitoes to be, coming into play right now, springtime. So it doesn't really matter. The only real thing that you can do to prevent mosquitoes is like anywhere where you have water on your property is just make sure that it's got some sort of bubbles, fountain, or a pump, whatever, so the water's moving.
Hmm.
As long as your water's not standing still,
Yeah,
you
there's
can
still water.
minimize the amount of mosquitoes you get. But it is what it is. You make your peace with mosquitoes. You put up put up different things to dissuade them, et cetera, et cetera. But it is what it is. We're gonna have half our property is gonna be wetlands. Trust me, you're not gonna be able to escape mosquitoes. I'm just
Oh,
gonna
dude.
I'm gonna have
Oh, so bad.
but I'm gonna have zappers around the livable property areas of the property. So, you know, because you know me, you know how I love to have lights and this, that, and the other. So I'm just gonna have power cords run all
Mm-hmm.
along, all over the damn property, buried and running out to places and that kind of thing. So there'll be ways to get rid of those mosquitoes or at least minimize them. Good to see you tonight, Seawall, rolling in your armored half track. Uh, that's a good point, Saint. Eat a lot of garlic for that. Garlic's a good one for that. Saint says his buried storage containers house a lot of airsoft equipment. I don't know why that's funny to me, but thought it was funny. But now
Right.
there is the idea of burying a storage container and using it as a bunker. I could strongly get behind something like that. So always bear that in mind.
Yep.
See, well, can you take care of Robert Squeeters?
By the way, it's Skeeters with a K. Skeeters. Just letting you guys know. Ah, people.
I know.
Can't fucking spell
Non-Floridians.
Skeeters. I know.
What can you do? They just don't get it. You got to be here to get it.
Yeah.
Everyone laughs, so the Alphabet Squad thinks it's a joke.
Right, guys? We would never, right, guys? Right? Yeah, never. We would know. We would never know. No. Guys, no.
Uh, yeah. No, keep your fucking Moab to yourself, Seawall. I need to grow some corn.
Nothing.
I got things to do. Moab won't help at all. Just nothing. John, there's I don't know. Do you ever pay attention? Read the news? Do you ever pay attention? You try and avoid it. You still avoiding stuff now?
Unfortunately, yes.
Hey,
Unfortunately, I do pay attention.
did you know that there's a lot of superhero movies going around, right? We've had Marvel doing a bunch.
Oh God, yes.
DC's done a bunch. DC's got a line on a new one they're going to do, and I want to get your opinion because J.J. Abrams they wanted to tap him to direct it, and he won't do it because
Not
he
good.
says it's tone deaf.
Good.
It's Superman.
Yeah, good for him.
Guess what they're going to do with Superman?
Oh yeah, he's gonna be black, right?
They're going to do a black Superman.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah. Of course.
Okay, I've read
Yeah.
all about Kryptonians when I was growing up. There's nothing natural about that.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're biological beings, totally natural. You mean?
Do you
You mean like a black or a black Kryptonian?
would you agree that it's tone
They
deaf?
didn't have any.
Is it like over
Yeah, I mean it's blackwashing. It's what's been happening for years now. It's just blackwashing.
I have to say I've taken there's been two or three different things that I've been watching, just some black sitcoms just to get a feel for what they're putting out there, right? I was doing a couple of different ones, but man, I tell you, it really seems like with a lot of this stuff, they are doing a carbon copy of what they always said that was happening with all white casts, and then there was just like a token African American in there, and always somebody stereotypical. Well, I mean, I
Yep.
don't understand how they think doing the same thing in reverse is social justice. It's like socially acceptable. Whenever I see, what was I watching? It was Cedric the Entertainer had a television had a series that he did. I think it went 3 seasons before he died, right? Because Cedric died. But they have one white guy on the show,
Yeah. Oh
and
wait.
and of course
No,
he.
wait. No, 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 no. That was Bernie Mac that died,
I thought Cedric the Entertainer passed as well.
wasn't it?
And check it out. See if Cedric the Entertainer's
I
still
don't think
alive.
so. Let me see. Yeah. Really? Oh my God! Read another fucking book.
Who?
Not you. Google.
Oh,
I
Google.
went to. I went to search Cedric the Entertainer. I went to click on the Entertainer, and then it made me click on Cedric Diggory, the fucking Harry Potter character. That's why I said read another fucking book. Yeah, he's still alive.
Is he?
Yeah.
Because yeah. Well, anyway,
Yep.
he had
It
a
was
sick.
Bernie Mac that died, and he had a show. Yeah, he had a show. Bernie
Uh,
Mac did.
yeah, Bernie Mac did, and Cedric did too. It was like Welcome to the Neighborhood, and like, you know, um,
Oh, okay.
two white folks moved
Yeah,
in
he died in
next.
2008. Bernie
Yeah,
Mac.
but man, it's just the way they portray white people in these shows is quite. Oh, actually, Jamie Foxx. That's what it was. Jamie Foxx has a new series that he was doing, and there's
Mm.
one white person, and
Mm-hmm.
he's a idiot. He's a white idiot, right? They made him the goofy white guy.
Yeah.
He's not attractive, and then for some reason he's got this love hate relationship with Jamie Foxx's sister, and so they're screwing on the side,
Mm.
on the slide, but it's it's definitely one of
Mm-hmm.
those. Why in the fuck would she be with him? Because of course he's your typical goofy idiot white guy that's the butt of so many jokes and this that, and the other, and it's. But man, they push these issues,
Right.
these racial issues about stereotyping and this, that, and the other, and gang violence, or drive-by, this whole 9 yards. And I'm like, you can beat this to death all you want, but you're only doing the same
Well,
thing.
so I can make another point. A similar sitcom Tyler Perry did, which say what you want about Tyler Perry, he makes shitty movies. That's true. But this show in particular was actually pretty good, and they did a lot of the issues-based stuff like that. But it was really well done because it was usually like issues within the black community that they were addressing and trying to solve, or
Right.
at least saying how to solve.
Right.
But they did the same thing that you said with the white character. So they had this dude, like they were all the whole family, the house, the Paynes, the Paynes, Paynes. And they were all like firefighters,
Right.
and like the patriarch of the family was a fire chief. And so, but there's one white guy that worked at the fire station. That was it. The rest of them were like the family members, and then like one white dude who was his name was Bart. He was fat and he was stupid,
Right.
and that was his whole character.
Right.
There's no like character development, no arc for him. Like he was just fat and stupid, and named Bart. So yeah, they did the same thing with that, but they did a whole bunch of episodes addressing like issues in the black community, like addiction. One of the guys' wife was like addicted to crack, even though they were like pretty well off, and she ended up like burning down their house, and so they had to move in with the patriarch of the family, and that was a whole drama. Um, they did black on black crime, so like theft and armed robbery against other black people. Like they did that. So I mean, they actually did a pretty good job of like addressing issues within the black community, which most shows don't do, right? Because they can't that can't be part of the narrative. It has to be white people or oppressing black people.
Right. Right. And
Not
and
we're harming ourselves.
right. You can't address the fact that there's more black on black killing than there is white cop killing black perpetrator. Right?
Right?
You can't
Yeah, for sure.
speak that
Yeah.
narrative, and you can't sell it because that goes counter narrative. Um, Saint says Robert is a
Right.
racist. Confirmed. I am not a racist. I'm a tribalist. I
True.
understand what the difference in the races are and how we as humans act.
He's a race realist.
I don't believe any.
Oh my God.
I'm not a racist because I don't believe any race is better than any other race, or should be considered above another race. I don't agree with that. We're just people. We're just
I
people.
don't know. You don't think the Daytona 500 is better than the Talladega?
Ha, no. Elfman says fathers were made to be idiots on TV since 2000. Just FYI, the white guy I was talking about on the Jamie Foxx show, here was the other thing. He's a single guy, right? He's not a father. But guess what what his job is? Of all things, guess what his fucking job is?
He's a marriage counselor.
He's a fucking cop.
Because he's a single guy?
Well, he's a white guy. He's a white
funny.
cop. He's a white cop.
Yeah.
The token white cop.
That's funny.
Saint says he's goofy looking without facial. I've been goofy looking all my life. Then I mean, this facial hair was just
Every man is goofy.
That was a small
facial
moment in
hair.
time. This is the only time I've really done that. The entire time we've been doing the show. Where have you been, Saint? And please,
Oh God.
don't tell me you don't like goofy looking guys. Come on, I know I'm cute. Elfman says those are hate stats. I do. You know what? It's not that I'm super defensive. I will always defend the idea that because you speak the truth, that someone will want to twist it. I know that wasn't a serious comment about me being a racist, I hope. But it is the narrative in the present day to twist any truthfulness that you might say into being racist. And it works with everything. For instance, Caitlyn Jenner has come out and said, as a transgender person, has said that transgender boys should not be competing on girls' teams. Transgender, from male to female transgenders, those biological males.
You mean someone who is an Olympic athlete?
Who knows? Right?
Yeah, someone who is an Olympic athlete and knows about this. Yeah, experience from both sides of this. knows.
But now
But
now people like Sarah Silverman are coming out.
Like probably one of the only people on the earth that can speak that. I can speak on that issue, right? Because if you're not part of that community or whatever, you can't speak on the issue.
Right.
To be both an Olympic athlete and trans.
Right.
and the only person on the planet that is allowed to talk about this.
Right. And now is being called out by people like Sarah Silverman and others for being transphobic. He's trans, but is transphobic. And it's like, oh, you fucking people. It's just anything now. You can't say anything. You can't have an opinion without someone saying, oh, well, that opinion makes you racist. I can't sit here and say there is more black on black crime than there is black people getting killed by white people or white cops without somebody going, oh, you're just racist, right? That's,
Right.
and they're not joking, right? Those people are out there, and it's like, you got to stop. You got to stop this stupidity. I don't know. It's fucking crazy. It's just one of the many things that are tearing us apart as a country, so that you can't, But when I turned and and it was very telling. There was a post. I never go on Facebook that much except to look at my wife's stuff. But there was something that was that bounced up in the feed, and it was a story about a woman an African American guy who, did lawn work, had come to her and said, hey, do you need can I mow your lawn? And she was like, well, I don't have the money to afford it right now. Can you, maybe next week you could come back and do it? And he looked. She was a grandmother. She had grandkids. And this guy, the next thing she knows, she's in her house and she hears his lawnmower going. She goes outside and she's like, he's mowing her lawn and she's trying to stop him. And he says, no. He says, you've got children and your grass is tall. There's snakes, this, that, and the other. I'm going to cut your grass so that your kids are safe. And she said, but I can't afford it. He says, you don't worry about it. And it's like, why don't we talk about these things? These are the things where there are actually people of different races that don't have this issue, that don't have this competitive racism, that and let it impede them, you know. I mean, I'm like, that's fucking
Mm-hmm.
noble shit. Why aren't we broadcasting that?
Yeah.
Why aren't we talking about the harmony that does exist more so than the animosity? It's crazy to me. I
Yeah, well,
don't.
yeah, because that doesn't get headlines.
No, it doesn't.
That
Um,
doesn't get clicks. No one cares about that.
Alpha Man says, "What's the name of the black kid on South Park?" I believe they called him Token.
Token, yeah, his name is Token Black.
Sewell
Fucking
says,
best
based on
name ever.
technological development, the most successful originate within East Asian and Central Northern Europe. You know what? Fuck success. That doesn't mean anything. It
Oh,
doesn't make you better than anybody. That's the thing. That's the problem. Is like, and not
he
saying
was
your
referring
problem,
to
Sewell.
what Ed was saying,
Right? Yeah. No. But that's one of
which
those
we're not going
things.
to address because Ed's trying to get us in trouble
Right.
again.
Um,
So,
but when it's all said and done, like these are the kind of things that these competitive racists out there, they talk about. They're like, oh well, these races are more successful and do this, and you know what? Eh. Asians are not just better at math because they're Asian, right? Asians are better at math because I don't know, they fucking educate. That's it's just
well, they have a
one of their
huge
things,
emphasis on education.
right?
Yeah, they have a huge
Right,
emphasis on and a huge work ethic as well. It's not just education, but
right.
like work ethic in general. Just putting everything that you have into whatever you're doing at all times.
But that doesn't
That's a
make them
huge part of Asian culture in general. In
right.
general.
But that doesn't make them any smarter, any better, any different than any other race, and yet we're supposed to hoist them up on their petards right now because they're not getting enough recognition for being Asian. How about they just get recognition for being good at whatever it is they do,
Well,
or
no, it's that
whoever
they're
they are as a
being
person? That's the
well,
important
no.
part.
So they're being attacked by black people right now. So that's why they're important. Otherwise, they're not.
They're being
But
attacked.
we can't say that they're the ones who are doing it either.
But
It's
but
probably white supremacy anyway. But
there's a whole social movement with Asians right now. I mean,
I know.
did you just see Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise gave
No,
back
I did not give a shit
Tom
about it.
Cruise gave back Golden Globes. They've canceled the Golden Globes for next year. Um, for the next
You talking
Golden
about for the
Globes.
Last Samurai?
For the last, no, Jerry
That's so.
Maguire and whatever the 4th of July was, it 4th of
Was it,
July or
okay, so not for the Last Samurai.
I'm not sure. Whatever it's two big movies he won Golden Globes for. He gave those back, and
Oh,
it was
previous
because of
movie.
these social injustices and the how
You sure
Asians
it
are.
wasn't?
I don't know which movies, John. It was two of his movies. What difference does it make which ones it was? I don't know. I know
No,
one
it
of them
makes a
was.
difference.
Why does it make a
It makes a
difference?
difference
Why?
because if it was for this, if it was for let's see, gives back his Golden Globes. All right, let me find an actual article. Gives the ultimate diss. Oh man, it says HuffPo. Let's read HuffPo. That's always fun.
We're just looking for. I know
Yeah,
Jerry Maguire was one of
HuffPo
them. Was it Top Gun? I can't remember what the other one he won a Golden Globe
gave
for.
back three of them.
Three.
He gave back three of them apparently. Okay, yeah, weird. Yeah, it was born on the 4th of July. Jerry Maguire in Magnolia.
Yeah, I don't even know that he won a Golden Globe for
Okay,
The
so this
Last
had
Samurai.
nothing to do with the Asian thing.
No,
So it had nothing to do with the Asian thing, right?
yes, that was part of
Oh
the
no, it's just
issue.
a stunning lack of diversity.
Right, stunning lack of
It
diversity,
just says
right?
stunning lack of.
And the lack of
Right.
diversity right now is focused on Asians, right? It was blacks
Okay.
3 months ago, and now it's Asians. But yeah, I mean, but what? Why does it matter which one? Oh, because of the Last Samurai having Asians
Oh,
in it.
because
I
it
don't
was
know that
the
he won
Last
any.
Samurai. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
I don't know that he won any awards for
I don't
that
know if
one.
he might have.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Do you think there was a lack of diversity
But
in
I was gonna
that
say
movie? No.
no. But I was gonna say, no. I can see people being mad about it though, because it's supposed to be like the Last Samurai, and the Last Samurai is a white guy.
Oh, sure.
But my point was gonna be though that movie is about like coming together and embracing the differences between you and
Right.
getting to know each other's culture and learning from each other, despite your differences, and ultimately adjusting to like changing times.
Right.
Pretty much. So I mean, whatever. I mean, there was a good message in that movie. Whatever.
Um, Sewell says, is talking about the genetics between the races and the set. And he says Asians have an unusually high sense of spatial awareness, helps with mathematical and engineering abilities. I can agree with that to a certain extent. However, I would counter with this: if you spend, long periods of times, I'm talking about decades or more, educating and teaching your society in certain ways, these kind of things will impact how the intellect, I won't say it changes the genetics, but you create, like, if we were as focused on education as a country like China or Japan, primarily Japan's big on education, right? If we were as focused in the same ways, like as opposed to this bullshit that we do with No Child Left Behind and just give everybody a standard education, if we really focused on it, we would see an entire societal change over time in how the intelligence factor rises within our society as we become more solidly educated, right? And more focused in education in the right ways. I mean, these kind of things will happen over time. Now, I'm not saying that there's not genetic differences that impact certain things. I get it. There may be, but superiority is not one of the things that genetics gives you. It just doesn't. I disagree
Well,
wholeheartedly.
superiority in what though?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Superiority in,
Yeah, there's different things you can be superior in. Yeah.
because when it's all said and done, we're just humans. We're just humans, right? Floating on a ball, wasting away. Um, it, well, I see. Well, the argument I'm making ultimately is we're talking about raising the IQ of a society or the intelligence of a society as a whole
The average
through
IQ. Yeah.
through constant focus, through diligent practice in education. It can happen because it changes the way people educate their children when they have them as they're growing up. It changes the focus of parenting to something a little more where, like, everybody's a genius when they're fucking born for the most part, right? They're sponges. You can learn anything. Babies learn in the womb if you do it right. It's like there's just so much that information they can hold is unbelievable. But most people just, it's the baby. Goo goo gaga. Goo goo gaga. It's crazy. No, I'm not saying anything about IQ. Why are you talking about IQ? I don't give a fuck about IQ. I'm talking about the intelligence, the societal intelligence. It's just basic. When you have a smart society, you raise smarter children. Your IQ, your IQ is just a number. What you can learn and what you can do is it's all there. I mean, yeah, some people have mental deficiencies, but you know, IQ is a number that people play around with and act like it's fucking important. IQ is not intelligence. IQ is just it. There's two different things there. I have a
It
fucking.
just stands for intelligence quotient.
Let's put
but
it this way.
yes.
I have a
I
genius
know what you mean.
IQ, and guess what? I'm not a fucking genius. And you know why? It's because I wasn't, it wasn't nurtured, right? I wasn't pumped with information. I wasn't taught these definitive pathways
Hell of a man.
to make that IQ blossom like it should have, right? I mean, I know what my IQ is, but I don't think
Ed, we're not doing that.
what
No.
what
It's like bring them on, bring them on. We're not doing that. We're not. No.
it's
Unless you want to bring him on, and then I can go because my internet is really fucking up. To where like you're choppy, and I'm hearing you way late. It's like pretty bad.
well, that's your
We're
fault.
away from that now. Yeah, we are, Ron. It is, yeah. I'm not saying that it's not.
Yeah, we are a long way
It's a
from a
half
smart
self-driving.
society. I mean, it's honestly, our path seems to have been to dumb down society so that you can have stronger control over it. I don't know. It's weird, uh, but no, it's it's just one of those things to me. It's like there are ways to go about things, and we do it wrong. We just do it fucking wrong. We would have a lot less idiots if we just
So,
fucking woke up.
so Robert, we had something else to talk about too, though, didn't we?
No, no. Hey,
I
yeah,
thought we
yeah.
had Elon
No,
is imminent domain. Elon,
we got time to
the
get to
title.
that. We're not on a time crunch here. We're,
No, I know. Just I know
calm
our
down,
show. We're
John.
gonna go on for an hour on this one subject.
Don't you have some lagging to do?
I'm doing plenty of that. I can do that at the same time. Trust me.
Guess what? Louisiana's passing a bill where anyone over the age, where people 21 and older can have a concealed weapon without. They're passing legislation where you won't even need don't even need a background check. Like you just buy a gun
That's
and
badass.
conceal carry with no
Fuck
permit.
yeah. What?
No permit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Don't they have a Democrat governor? I'm pretty sure
Possibly.
their governor is a Democrat.
But
Let me check that, but I'm pretty sure.
but they're pretty much like fuck the federal mandate. They say we believe Brian Fontenot and another guy.
Yeah, he is a Democrat.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a no. Fontenot
John
is a
Edwards. Yeah.
Republican from Thibodeau, and he
Yeah,
says that.
but the governor is a Democrat.
Oh, the governor, right? But
Yeah, the governor.
Fontenot said, "I believe that training should be required, but the Constitution says we have the right to possess firearms." Bottom line,
Ah, that's so fucking
right?
nice to hear.
Right? The cops are
The pendulum
not
is
happy,
swinging the other way in a lot of places. Fuck them. Who cares?
right?
Who cares what they think? Like, get the fuck out of here.
But the funny thing is, on the feet of that, guess what? South Carolina's bringing in a
Uh-huh.
new option for the death penalty. They'll give you a choice now.
Oh, the firing
They're
squad.
bringing they're
Yeah.
gonna bring back firing squads there. I didn't realize. Did you know Oklahoma Helton? Did you know Oklahoma still has firing squad as an option? I was like, oh shit. There's three
That's
other
fucking
states that
cool.
have firing
What a way to
squad
go
as an
out,
option,
dude.
right? That's what I'd be like. Fuck it, just
That's
do it quick.
fucking yeah. Put me up against the wall. Look me in the eye when you shoot me. Fucking pussy ass like soy filled needle going in my arm. Hell no. Better pull a bullet in me.
Right. Um, all right, and there is one other thing that I want to ask you about, or see if have you heard anything about this Ben Affleck and Matthew Perry thing that's going on with this app called Raya?
Hmm.
So there's an app like Tinder,
No.
but it's I guess the social elite. This is where a lot of celebrities. Almost like a celebrity Tinder. But there was a story a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Ben Affleck and this woman matched, and she thought somebody was catfishing with Ben Affleck's picture, so
Nice.
she blew it off, and then he sent her a message with a little video, and he's like, "We matched. Why didn't you? Why did you not want to talk to me?" And she's like, "Oh shit, it was really Ben Affleck, right?" But Matthew Perry,
Hmm.
apparently, he got into a conversation with a girl on there, a 19-year-old girl, and they both were in a conversation, and he was like, "You want to take this to FaceTime?" So she went into a FaceTime conversation with him and sat and talked with him for a while, and now wants to come out and be
Cool.
like, "Why are these guys, stalking on young girls on this app?" I'm like, "Bitch,
They're over
you
age.
talked
Who
to him,
cares?
right?
Yeah.
You had a
And
conversation with
they're
him."
over 18.
And he made a
Yeah.
funny comment.
I'm
He's
not
like,
interested.
"Am I as old as your dad?" And so all of a sudden he's creepy and everything, and it's like, bitch, don't even
Yeah.
begin to tell me that not on there in the hopes of meeting a celebrity. and why would you? You
Yeah,
just wanted to talk to Matthew Perry for a while. Come on.
yeah.
It's
Who wants
fucking
to talk
fun.
to Matthew Perry
And so
for
and,
about anything?
and so now
I'm
these
just kidding. I have no idea. I
so
don't.
right so now these two guys are on that train to cancellation because they're creepy and pervert or being on there and talking to women so young. Like fucking get off the
Whatever.
app. Get off the fucking app and
They're
don't
over.
talk to
They're
these
over eight.
people.
Not only that, not only that, but they're over 18, and like they're consensually there. They're continuing the conversation. They can easily stop, block. No, they're consensually being there. There's
Right.
no issue there whatsoever.
Fucking crazy, right? Oh my god, it's just sad.
Yeah,
Um, so do you watch
whatever.
Saturday Night Live anymore? Do you ever watch it?
Of course not.
So they had
No.
Elon Musk on this weekend, and I will tell you this: he sucks as an actor.
Yeah.
um, no, I wanted to talk about Elon Musk for a little bit, only because you know a lot of people revere him, right, with everything that he's doing, you know, with technology and all the directions he's going, and he wants to put people in space and out on Mars and this whole 9 yards, right? So, are you familiar
Hmm.
with the town um, that he's trying to create in Texas? So, in Texas, there's the launch pad. They launch a lot of their
No.
SpaceX rockets from. They've been buying up property around this launching area, right? He has this hope of building creating a new city called Starbase, Texas, right? But here's the thing.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's Boca Chica, Texas, right? And they're like I said, they're buying up as much property as they can.
Mhm.
But there are still some people there that do not want to sell their land, to sell their property to him, right? There's holdouts, right?
Mhm.
Anytime somebody's coming in buying up
Of
everything,
course.
there's going to be holdouts, right? So
Of
now,
course.
now they're turning around and they're putting it out there, wanting people to move to the places that they've already purchased. They want more people because if they can get enough people there, I believe the residency needs to hit 2,000. If they can get enough people, then
Hmm.
they can incorporate it as a town/city. And this motherfucker wants to get that done so that he can turn around and then go to those people that are holdout and use eminent domain to take their fucking property so he can continue building his Starbase city. How fucked is that, John?
Yeah.
I mean, is that not
It's
extremely
extremely
fucked
fucked.
up? It's especially for someone who
I
talks
just said it was. Yeah.
about wanting to help people, wanting to push people further. Um, how,
Well, that's the problem
how does
with
somebody
wanting to help
fight
people,
against
right?
that? Do what? What'd you say?
That's the problem with wanting to help people. The problem with helping people is that you gotta harm a lot of people along the way. When helping people means like going through your specific vision, means hurting a lot of people along the way. That's why social engineers suck.
Yeah. So they you know some of these people, there's like 14 properties that he hasn't been able. Half of them were just like, look, we asked for more money. I mean, you got a company like you got Elon Musk and his company SpaceX coming, offering money. Well, you're surprised that some people
Hmm.
might go, oh no, we'd like a little more for this, right? This is our land, this is our property. Why don't you offer us a little more if you really want to get us in there?
Hmm.
You're
Makes
lagging.
sense. Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
You were lagging and your face froze with an open mouth like you were surprised by something. It was just funny for a nice lag moment. But even so much like they're so involved in this area, like even to the extent that like there's really only one way into the town, and like access to the beach. But constantly with these rocket launches, they're shutting off access to the beach, so these people can't even, go to the beach a lot of the time because of all these rocket launches that are going on, and the roads
Mm,
constantly bogged down with them bringing stuff in and moving stuff out, and this, that, and the other, or closing the road when there's going to be a launch.
right.
So, and it's like you're already just fucking with everybody's daily life, but then turn around and you want to just you want to force them off their land. I it's I don't know. I mean, is it how do you counter that? How I mean, he's going to have the law on his side, right? How do you is there no way to fight eminent domain? Is there no way to keep someone from doing that? I mean, I don't know. I've never really dealt with having to fight against eminent domain. I mean, I know it's the threat that's always there when you
I
own
wouldn't know.
when
Yeah.
you own any
Mhm.
property. But I don't know. Does anybody out there know about eminent domain? Is there a way for these people to fight back and prevent him from taking their land just because he gets enough people to call it a town? Um, you know. Helton says also, I want to convince Elon to give me a trip to Mars. Do you
Yeah.
really want to go to Mars, Ron? Really? I
Nah,
mean,
fuck that, dude. No, no.
now see, there's Ed. There are
Yeah, Ed makes a
rifles,
good point.
sure. Yeah,
Yep,
but of course,
that's a
guess
good
what?
point.
You get in trouble for that too, right? Right. That's not acceptable way to do it. Uh,
Well, neither is just taking my land, so there you go.
But no, my opinion
Everyone's
of
fucking
him
up.
greatly dropped when I saw that. You know, when they've told these
Yeah.
people, the lawyers have told these people, it's okay. No, we're not going to give you more money. We're going to pursue other options. And it's a very it's a very veiled threat, but it's very demonstrative. Um, and I don't know. I don't know. Should the federal government get involved in something like that? Is that I mean, they don't have any purview, no say in that, right? There's no way they can get involved and stop something like that. Um,
Um,
being that it's
either
corporation,
either
though.
county or state. Either county or state could get involved. That's probably the best that you can hope for.
Because if he's
If you're one of those people, that's probably the best you can hope for.
because I guess I guess I look at the greater repercussions. Okay, so that's one step too far. How many? What would be next? What else is he just gonna just
Mhm.
fucking step on to get where he wants to go? Um, you know, all under the guise of
Yeah.
trying to help us as a species and save our planet and this, that, and the other. It makes me it this is the kind of thing that makes me more nervous about him putting up a net around the world of satellites, right? I mean,
Hmm.
to know that he would allow this to go on in Texas, that just tells me that there's no telling what he would allow to happen with a network of satellites in the sky monitoring that are capable. I guarantee you are capable of monitoring everything that people are doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
And the sad part is, he's probably going to be the best internet option on the planet once that's in
Yeah,
place.
yeah, he's pretty good at doing stuff. So I would say you're probably right.
He says, I just look, Elfman says, I just look, these people are gouging. Go look at this town. Hey, it was a small town, right? But gouging is, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
Go ahead.
I'm always on the side of sovereignty. I'm always on the side of sovereignty. It's these people land, they own it, they have every right to do whatever they want with it. If that means price gouging the company trying to buy them, so be it. I mean, that's their prerogative.
Right? I mean, that's just a part of capitalism, right? If your demand for this is so high, Well, guess what? The cost is, I'm going to bring my cost up to that same level. I'm going to ask for more because
Yeah.
maybe that's what that land is worth to them. To ask for a couple of $100,000 more than what he's offering. I mean, what's wrong with that, right? I mean, you're talking about people who are making a
Yeah.
life there. They could, no telling how long they've been there. This is their home. This is where they want to live. You know, you want me to go? You're going to pay for it, pal.
Yeah.
You're going to pay extra for it, right? Because you want to take over everything that's here.
Hmm.
Well, I would ask for more. I don't give a fuck. Shit, I asked for way too much on this house, right? We went well over what the market suggested we should sell this house for, and we asked for more. And guess what?
Hmm.
We're getting it, right? People jumped
got
on
it.
it, even that high.
Yeah.
People jumped on it. So, I don't see it as price gouging.
Hmm.
I see it as setting the market. Um, but yeah, it's not like he doesn't have the money, right? It's the company, his corporations, he himself. There's plenty of money there to pay a little extra if you want to achieve something, right? That's the nobler thing to do. You know what? You're right. This property is worth that much to you, so I'm willing to pay it. No, no. Better yet, I'm just going to fucking kick you off your land. Because with eminent domain, he's going to gouge in reverse. He'll give them just the bare scraps that he needs to give them for the purchase. Probably not even market value, right? And they'll all get fucked.
Hmm.
It's probably true, Ed, because he does launch. They do launch out of Cape Canaveral, so it wouldn't surprise me if they try and take over something here in Florida too.
Probably be easier too.
Alphaman says
Um,
the next hurricane in Boca Chica doesn't exist, but they've been around for quite a while.
did
The
you
hurricanes
see,
haven't got
what
them yet.
Man said though?
It, what about it being a barrier
Yeah,
island?
yeah. Well, my point. Yeah, 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 yeah. But we had lagged again, so like I said, I didn't hear you until way after. Um, yeah. So next hurricane and Boca Chica doesn't exist. That's a chance that you take.
Yeah,
Whenever you're trying to get more for the house,
right,
they're gambling. Sure, they're gambling
right.
because we do have hurricane seasons coming up.
Yeah,
So they're
but
gambling.
sure,
They,
but how long
maybe
have they?
Elon will wait them out. Who knows? But
Well, let's not pretend Boca Chica hasn't been around for a while. I'm sure that little town of Boca Chica has been there for quite some time,
I don't know.
right? I mean, women, I
Sure.
guess we could probably look and see historically how many times has Boca Chica been wiped out by hurricanes. I don't remember the last time I heard anything about Boca Chica in any of the hurricanes, right? So I mean,
Well, yeah, it's a tiny little. It's itty bitty. I mean,
but I mean, I mean they've been there for as long as they have. you know, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, if they were going to go, they would have gone a long time ago because of hurricanes, right? You know, those are probably Florida people living on that. They're like, hurricanes don't mean shit. They don't mean nothing to us. Yeah, no. No. Elon Musk wouldn't be able to take over Florida. We got too many guns. Here, there's
well, we got the mouse too.
the mouse.
The mouse
Yeah.
is pretty powerful.
That would be kind of fun to see a fist fight between Mickey Mouse and Elon Musk.
That would be funny.
Did you hear about the revelation he also made on Saturday Night Live? He announced
Which one?
that he has Asperger's.
Oh, I thought we knew that already. Did we know that?
I
Thought we
don't.
did.
I don't think I knew it. As apparently he announced it in his opening monologue. He said something about it in his open monologue, and
Oh,
the way it was being reported was, reveals that he has Asperger's, and it's like, okay, wow, so that's what's wrong with him, because there's
maybe we
always been a
didn't.
little
I don't know.
something off about him,
Cool.
right? But
Of course. Yeah, yeah. Of course.
Elephant Man says with the bad publicity, Elon will probably just pay. Yeah, I mean, and that's the hope, right? That is the hope that, it's like dude,
Mhm.
you realize you're going to look like a real fucking schmuck. Cough up a few extra bucks and be done with it. You know, don't make yourself into an ass.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to care about your SpaceX launches if you're a total ass. you know, I mean, you're sure as hell not
Yeah.
going to get the libertarian vote, right? Yes, he does. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Elephant Man
true.
is shocked. Really? Yeah. No,
Good thing I didn't
he's
want to
not
watch
really
the
shocked.
Libertarian vote.
Do what? Well, if he wants to be the next commander in space,
Am I good now?
uh,
Okay.
you're off and on. Elephant Man says his youngest son has Asperger's. He said I can
Hmm.
spot a mile away. Yeah, and see that's the thing. Most people can't.
Wow.
I, I don't think I ever. I mean, I always knew something was off with Elon, but I never really attributed it to any kind of. At
Of
at
course.
best, I might have considered it was maybe a mild form of autism, right? Because
Well, isn't
that's
Asperger's
easily
part of the autism spectrum?
is it? It might be. Elephant Man is Asperger's.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Is Asperger's part of the autism spectrum? I think you might be right there. So yeah, um, I guess saying it might have been autism is a little too broad based because there are subcategories of it. I guess
Yeah.
that starts to get confusing too. It's like, well, no, I'm not autistic. I have Asperger's, but isn't that part of the spectrum? Yes, but it's totally different. It's a different color.
Ah,
It's a different colored puzzle piece.
indication. So my
Yeah.
girlfriend just messaged me and said that yes, I am correct.
About what?
It is. It is on the autism.
That's
It's
what
part of the autism
Elephant
spectrum.
Man said that. He already answered.
Well, yeah, but
God,
whatever.
you got to rely on the chat. They're the important ones here, John. We don't have time for you to flirt
Yeah,
with
but
your
like
girlfriend.
I get Discord messages. I get
I
Discord
know.
messages right in front of me.
I'm
Whereas
just
the
messing
chat's
with
over
you.
here.
She's
That's
awesome.
over
It's
over
good
this
that
way.
you've got somebody in the wings feeding you information. It's good.
Yeah, what do you think? I'm actually this smart? No, she's googling shit furiously on my behalf.
Oh, House
Of
MD.
course.
What House MD? I remember watching that show. What was it that he
I think he was supposed to have
was it
Asperger's. I
Asperger's
don't
that
know.
he had as well? I think it might have been. I can't remember. Um, is I was always it was always the limp that I was like, cause it always made me think he had polio at first, but it wasn't polio. I don't think. Um, Ed says I actually thought he'd be a chill dude considering he reinvented the electric car and wants to blast people to Mars in a rocket ship. Exactly, right? I thought it was really cool, but I know it could be one of those things where he's, maybe they're not telling him, right? He's not involved in it as much, but it's one of those things like you can separate yourself, like kind of like I don't know, like some guys with orange hair can separate themselves from the scummy shit that their business associates are doing underneath them, so that they keep a comfortable distance from anything that might be considered corrupt. Something like that, right? Not that anybody ever does that, right? I
Sure.
don't know. I don't know. I just, what? People just rethink your thoughts on Elon Musk. I don't, we got to watch this guy and see what's going on with him. Because I'm just getting more worried about that net in space, that bubble around the planet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Elfman says Asperger's makes you say the truth at the wrong time, and sometimes it's hilarious. So does that mean Asperger's is kind of similar, like in line with Tourette's? Is that is it a close cousin? Because is Tourette's a form of autism
I
as
think
well?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah. I
because
think that is also part of the spectrum.
yeah, so that would make it kind of a cousin, I guess, because there's similar things that happen with Tourette's. Ed says he's taunting co-host. What? Are you
He
being
is, yeah.
taunted?
He's messaging me on Discord, being like,
Oh, I thought you
talk
said it was
about,
your girlfriend.
race and IQ. No. Okay, yeah, also her. And then
Oh,
he
okay.
started messaging me Yeah, and then yeah, so he's all like, oh, I want to hear you and Seawall or Robert and Seawall talk about race and IQ and all this shit. I'm like, nah, dude, nah.
So Elephant Man says no and no about Tourette's. So I guess Tourette's is its own is its
Oh,
in
is
its own
it not?
place. But it's
Well, let's find out from the old Google machine.
well, I think he might be he might have some idea, seeing as how he has firsthand knowledge of
Well, he
autism and
could be wrong.
Asperger's.
You never know.
How
You
dare you
never
call
know.
one of our audience wrong? Such a horrible word. Shaming.
All right, so oh, it is. I didn't know it was inherited. Tourette is apparently inherited neurological disorder.
Really? So like when somebody in
Uh,
your family dies, they leave you their money and their Tourette's?
let's see. It is a comorbid disorder with autism spectrum disorders such as autism and Asperger's. So I think it's. I don't think it's. I don't know. I'm getting everyone telling me it's not. Like my girlfriend just messaged me telling me it's not. Uh, I think what was it? Elephant Man said it's not. But this is saying it's a comorbid disorder
Right.
with autism spectrum disorders, and I'm not sure what that means exactly.
Well, look up comorbid. Duh. You know. Oh no, not a word. Don't make me
I
look
know.
up words. Not words.
Well, I didn't mean to. I didn't want to spend like a ton of
What else have you got to
time
do?
on
What else
this.
have you got to do? God.
Sleep. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not comorbidity. God, that's dumb. Comorbid to autism spectrum disorders such as Fragile X syndrome and epilepsy. Medicine and psychiatry.
You're-
Comorbidity is the presence of one or more additional conditions co-occurring with the primary one and the effect of such a. This has no. I still don't know.
so
Still don't know what this means.
that almost sounds to me like it's saying that Tourette's that comorbidity meaning that you know
It's two different things.
it's two different things, but you can have they can both exist, as it were, right? Like, so Tourette's is not part of the autism spectrum, but it can coexist
Right.
with autism. Is almost
With
what that
it.
sounds like that's
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
right? Um,
yeah. Gotcha.
and why is he such a troublemaker?
I don't know. He's a bad guy. That guy.
Elephant Man
Apparently,
said
you're correct. My girlfriend is now confirming that you were correct, Robert.
about what?
That's what it meant.
What comorbidity?
That it's not. Yeah, yeah. That's not part of the autism spectrum, but exists alongside it.
Gotcha, gotcha. Um,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
There you go.
so yeah, my thought is that like in a situation like that, you have to determine, like Elephant Man was talking about, some of the things, with Asperger's, that like when someone has it, they have to determine if it's Asperger's or Tourette's, right? Because Tourette's can be that way, right? There's
Hmm.
variations on what Tourette's is. Some people just say random
Right.
things, and other it's just very wide range of things that can happen with Tourette's. I don't know. I've just always been an idiot. So that's I don't know what spectrum that's on, but that's where I'm at. I don't know if it's
Idiot
autism.
savant. You mean? Of course.
Mm, I,
It's
I,
just being a plain old idiot.
yeah, no, I'm run of the mill
Well,
idiot.
idiot actually used to be a term for it was what the medical term that was used before retard. Before, like, you could be mentally retarded. You were actually an idiot or a mongoloid idiot.
Right.
That was like the
well,
medical term that was used. Yeah.
well, moron was a medical used to be a
Yeah.
medical term, right?
Yeah.
Moron. idiot, and
Yeah.
there was one other one.
Hmm.
Stupid, right? Stupid. Now, stupid was one of those that kind of had a gray area in how stupid was used because
Yeah.
there used to be a clinical classification for stupidity, but it just I think they went away from that. Got away from that because of course stupid became stupid is as stupid does, kind of situation. I don't know. But yeah, like you
Oh,
can't.
dumb, not stupid, says Saint.
So Elfman says, I have a story for an example. Ooh, dumb, not stupid, right.
Ooh.
Oh, dumb. Yes, that's right. Dumb. Because you can't. Dumb was a medical term, right? Like it was a way of describing. But you can't do that. You can't call people dumb. You can't call them idiot. You can't call them a moron, even though those were clinical diagnoses. It says a guy could do a lot with Tourette's. He could say
Yeah.
random things, or he could get a YouTube channel in the old guard internet. What does that mean?
Yeah. True.
I don't know what the old guard internet
There's
is.
a lot of things
I have no idea what that
like
means.
YouTube, like big sites, YouTube mostly.
Uh, Alpha says my
Google,
sister-in-law was watching
the
TV,
guard.
was complaining about a pretty woman, and he was at 15 years old. Turned to her and said, You're just jealous because no one wants to fuck you anymore." Wow. Yeah. See, that's. Now see, I say things like that, and I'm an asshole, right?
Right.
Because like I have throughout my life been known to just bluntly throw shit like that out there. you know, like my
Right.
stepdaughter, I've thrown those kind of things out there a whole lot. It's horrible. Uh, but yeah, no. See, that's she got up and left. Yeah, I can imagine. Um, but
Yeah,
it's like
I would too.
I don't know. You can't take things like that to heart, though, right? I mean, accept the fact that crying because she knows his condition. You're right, and but that's the problem with most people. The truth hurts. The truth hurts, and nobody wants to hear the truth. Um, that's like my stepdaughter. That's why she runs away from conflict. We can't have an argument because she just like runs away from it because the last thing she wants to do is have an argument where she hears anything negative about her because she knows it's true. And she doesn't want to hear it. But yeah, it's a tough place to be in. It's a tough position to be in, Elephant Man. It's you know, and I guess I technically though the upside um, is that I don't know. I don't know if you can call it an upside, but the balance in there is that fortunately a lot of times their condition prevents them from feeling horribly bad for saying something like that, right? I mean, they might. It's not to say that they won't feel bad about it or that kind of thing, but it's there's a I don't know there it's just there's no remorse there, I guess, or regret necessarily because it was just saying the thing, right? It's just who they
Mhm.
are. Um, you know, and I guess that's the part that you can take away. I remember a friend of mine had a son, and he was very autistic, and just he would say some off the wall shit, and he would say mean things sometimes. When he would get frustrated, this, that, and the other. But there was always a water off a duck's back kind of thing,
Mhm.
where he didn't have that burden of guilt for having said it
Mhm.
because that wasn't a function of his condition to have guilt
Right.
associated with that because that's the one thing that you want I would think that you'd want to prevent is for them to you know something that just naturally happens because of their condition for them to ever have to feel horrible or bad about the things that they say, right? You don't
Right.
want that for them because that's very damaging from a self standpoint. Alpha Man says he finally found a girlfriend and she is just like him. The honest combos they have are insane. What's
No,
not?
I bet, yeah.
Saint says, "What's not healthy? What's not healthy, Robert? What's not healthy?
I don't know. But,
Tell me, Saint. What's
damn,
not healthy? Or is it me? Something I do that's not healthy?
probably. Probably smoking? I don't
I wasn't smoking.
know.
So back to Elon. Fuck Elon. He's a bad act. He
Well,
doesn't. He can't act. I'm just saying.
well, yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Every character he played on that, and even tried to be funny, it was just like, oh look, there's Goofy Elon,
There's
in a
Elon being
different
goofy and
costume. Oh
running away from conflict.
no, it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
No, running away from conflict's not healthy, and it does nothing for her mental state either because all her path from there is to be spiteful and mean and vengeful about it, like you unloaded on her, like you did say everything. She runs away from hearing
Right.
it, but she treats you like you said everything, right?
Right.
It's
She
like
knew it was coming. She knows what's wrong with her.
she has, and I'm going to say this. I used to be very much like I used to be a bad person, like what I would consider a bad person when I was younger, because I didn't give a shit about anybody. I was on a destructive path, and I was just self-focused. I didn't give a shit about anything and what I did
Yep.
to people. But I woke up one day. It was just something happened, and I woke up and I realized, God, I'm a bad person, and I fixed it. And that's the thing. That's what has to happen. You got to have that moment where you've got to face your fucking demons. We're not all good people. And if you're not, if there's parts of you that aren't a good person, you got to face that if you want to move on to the part where you become a better person and make those changes in your life that make you worth being around so that you actually have friendships. I mean, it wasn't until I was in my late 20s before I ever had a friend, like somebody that I could call my best friend, because of how I had disassociated and used people so much when I was younger. And I still think I bear the karmic repercussions of that in different ways to this day. But I try and atone for it now by just being a better person and trying to do the right thing and always think about others before myself. That's really all it boils down to, is just put other people before yourself sometimes, and go on with your life. Just do the right things. Put the shopping cart back in the cart corral. Don't just leave it sitting in the middle of the parking lot like a piece of shit. Sorry, it's we were late tonight, Elephant Man, because with with us getting a contract on the house and the land closing, I promised my wife we would go out to dinner to celebrate tonight. She wound up taking a nap. She was so worn out from this last week of work. She took a nap today, and she wound up sleeping for 5 hours. She took a 5-hour nap. So it pushed us back a little, so I bumped us 30 minutes just so I could make sure and we could go to dinner and, and have our little bit of celebration. Seawall says I should be more like him. That, my friend, might be. I don't think I like anime that much. I don't think I could ever like anime that much.
I got him. He can't be a weeb faggot. Got him.
Saying says too many seawalls would cause rips in reality. Elephant Man says 5 hours. No, that's right, Elephant Man. It's not a nap. I did tell her. I said, "Oh, so how are you feeling after your good night's sleep?" But my wife works hard. She works her ass off at work, and then she turns around and deals with a lot of bullshit, and then she turns around and comes home and invests hours into this wildlife habitat, and she just goes and goes. So when my wife wants to take a 5-hour nap, let her. I keep the fucking house quiet and tiptoe around till she's through enjoying her nap, because she is that important to me. All right. Well, I mean, she's the most amazing lady anybody could ever meet. I can promise you that.
You know she's not here, right? She can't hear you.
Yeah, exactly. She can't. She can't hear me. But she knows. She knows
Yeah.
that's how I see her. That's what's
Hmm.
important. But enough of that bullshit. John,
No, I can't.
Alpha
'Cause,
Man says too many,
Sim.
too many seawalls. How we got Trump nice.
Ed
That's
called you a simp.
whatever. You know what? I'll tell you. I don't mind you calling me a simp, Ed. Um, you know, because
Simp.
you're doing it without a wife. If you had a wife on your
I.
arm calling me a simp, I might take it a little more seriously. But yeah, sorry, you're just
Oh.
not. You're never going to be as lucky as I am to have the woman I have. Um, you just won't be. Sorry to say. Yeah, whatever, John. Stroke it if you want. You know what? You should right now be going, oh, I got one. She talks to me on Discord. But no, you're missing an opportunity. Pander.
I'm not a panderer. She knows that. If I started talking like that, she'd be like, oh, "Yeah, you're fucking full of shit."
Right? Because you don't have feelings. John doesn't
It's
have
true, Elephant
feelings.
Man. It was called whipped.
It.
Sorry, I'm a man. I don't have feelings.
I believe the term
Feelings are
you're looking
gay.
for is pussy whipped.
Yes.
And just FYI, hell yeah, I am. It's a hell of a whip too. I'm just saying. It's nice. Too much exposure of my feels. Thanks, Ron. I appreciate that. All right. John, tell them. Tell them where they can find us. Do the stuff. Do your little spiel.
I can't actually because I'm lagging way too hard. Do you want to do it?
You're really not
Exactly.
lagging that.
Do you want me
Right
to take
now,
you to
you're
hear me?
not lagging that hard.
I'm lagging very difficult. It's very, very hard.
It's only on your
Very
end.
hard.
It's only on your end. You're not lagging coming to us. That's the thing. See, you could do the whole spiel. You could have already done the spiel because you're not lagging. But yeah, if they want to find us, they
All
can
right.
find us
Well-
right there at the Jing Gap P, right, on Twitter. There. They can find us on Discord, right? Our Discord server's down there in the description. We've got Buy Me a Coffee. Somebody could go buy us a coffee, or as Quest Fanning has done the last couple of weeks, buy us a beer, whatever. There's perks, there's things. We could always use the support. A little buy a coffee. We've also got Subscribe Star down there with multiple tiers if you want to be a regular donator. Subscribe Star helps us out, gets us going somewhere. And then we're also on Gilded, right? There's the Gilded thing. All the Freedom Scoop folks are over on Gilded. And are we back up on freedomscoop.com? Was that official? Did it officially? I need to get back. Did it not go back up? Something wrong? Did you break it, John?
Ed broke it.
Ed broke it. Helton says it's not feels. It feels. That's just too many words. That's like a tongue twister.
Oh, by the way, something that I forgot to mention in the past about the Buy Me a Coffee, we do have a goal. If we raise a total of $100 on Buy Me a Coffee, then John will do a drunk gaming stream with supporters. And we are 10% of the way there. We have $10 in there right now, out of the 100. All we have to do is get to 100, and we get another drunk gaming stream.
Now,
So just consider that in the future.
Ed is saying
Yes.
that technically Steven broke freedomscoop.com at your
Oh, that's
direction.
true. He did.
By what? How?
No, he did. I don't want to say because it has to do with some issues that he was having recently.
Did this have to do
That
with
we're not gonna
something back in
discuss publicly?
January?
Something to do with something in the beginning of the year, yeah.
Yeah, something that happened earlier in the year.
And it had to do with a sudden popularity that he suddenly got, and then the sudden traffic that was then directed to freedomscoop.com. Yeah.
Why is traffic bad again? I don't understand. Remember, it used to be
It was-
traffic
it
is
was
what
too
you
much
wanted.
for the too much for the servers to handle all at once.
Oh my. Maybe we
Yeah,
need,
it was
maybe,
a lot.
you know what? Maybe if we paid a decent wage, we could get more servers.
You don't pay interns.
Hey, we're gonna get the hell out of here. We might need to talk about that on Friday. God, have you seen just how this job market is blowing up and how crazy it's getting?
I have.
Like it's phenomenal. Like
I'm experiencing it right now because I'm trying to find myself a new full-time job. So I have seen that. I've had
it's.
direct experience with it. In fact,
I mean, I would think that any place if you walked in a door and said I'd like to fill out an application, it sounds like most places would just be like, "Oh, you're hired. You can fill out the application later."
yeah, pretty much.
Right? Because here in
Yeah.
Florida, just FYI, they brought back the requirement that you look for a job if you're on unemployment. But
Right.
there's a lot of social kickback on that coming from employees who are actually still working at places, and it's interesting to talk about and look at. It's getting crazy out there. It's gonna have a bad turn for the money printer if we're not careful. But we'll come back at 8:30 on Friday to talk about maybe that and a few other things for our regular episode. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. on Friday. We come back at you also on Monday. Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. We'll do a little bit of fill in the gap. See if we can't start your week off with a little bit of humor. Something funnier than just looking at John's half-grown face. Um, and then we'll also be back again a week from now for another rousing episode of Shooting the Shit at 9:30 p.m. All of those times are the Eastern Time Zone, the one and only true time zone, not to be confused with the rest of you posers out there. You know who you are. Um, yeah, see, that's why we need to talk about it. Things like that happening, like Ron Helton said.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that happening. So we'll come back at you on Friday night. We'll bring your conversational hats, folks. We'll talk about some of that and all the craziness that's going on. Until then, we're going to get the hell out of here. We appreciate everyone being here and joining us in the chat, chit chat, talk, and all the fun. Till the next time we get back at you, please hit that like button on your way out if you haven't already. And until then, we'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.
Yep. See you guys.
The war will begin.